So this is the report for this month. So as everyone knows, we started the inspections May 4th. And so as a part of the May 4th thing, we need to make sure that everything has been cleaned out. This is a group that we hire, which is Acton, that does the Vector trucks and vacuums out our pump stations, some of our gates. And in this case, they vacuumed out the channel at 35th and Chase, so that when we were going to do the exercise, which you'll see later, the posts and panels all work. This accumulates a lot of debris from the rain events, snow events, and so we do this yearly, and that's just one of the pictures. And you can see my big shadow trying to take a picture of a bunch of people working in the morning. And then this is the folks. You can see they're sending a person down into that chamber. That is our pump station at 32nd and Cleveland. So they're sending someone down there to make sure the silt is all out, the pumps are not affected, and also that the gates close properly. And then this is them as well on the Marshalltown levee. This is our pump station on the left-hand side of the Marshalltown pump station. It's really exciting stuff.
What's the gate on the right side of that?
You want me to go backwards now? No, the gate on the right is the sluice gate that, in case something was to malfunction at the pump station and it gave out, we didn't have the water penetrating through reverse, so we have to drill that down as well. Sorry, I know it's pretty boring. I'm taking a picture of a guy mowing lawn, but we had to do that too. This is the back of my car. This is all the material that we purchased and had available to us for the 35th and Chase exercise, where you put the posts and the panel in. And I can tell you this, the Gary Fire Department, Gary Emergency Management, Gary Police Department did a very good job doing this, and they did it in less time than what the Army Corps had required. So we had a little generator, little drills in the back, gas, the whole thing. This is the channel after it's been cleaned out. As you can see, the little, pins there that come out, that's a part of the gate that you have to attach the gate to, and then the post, as you can see, the void there. As you can tell, we had quite an army out there of folks. We had INDOT as well. What we thought was the importance was to train as many people as possible to do this. In the event that one of these many people were not there, at least someone would be able to remember how to do it. If someone was on vacation, someone was sent off, some of these are emergency personnel, they were dealing with other issues. My good friends from Lake County Emergency Management in Porter County. And then this is from on top of the levee looking to the north after it's complete. Up in the right-hand corner is the area which was the old farm stand where now Lake County Solid Waste is working. So that is the finished product of that exercise. So it was a success. They did it very well, and no one got hurt.
The height of that thing, man?
I think it's 8 feet. It's taller than me, so I'm going to guess 8 feet. As I mentioned, inspections were occurring. We did all of Gary from the 4th to the 8th. We also did the Griffith segment from the railroad tracks to, I think it was Calhoun, and we also did the Forest Avenue levee. But in this case, I just took a picture of what we do for the sluice gates. This is our pump station at Grant East. You can see, let's see, in here, the arrow, that's our pump station. It has power to it. That's our drills when we were talking about the clutches that burnt out. Here's the tripod that we use. We just go run it up against that, and they all have a 2-inch hex bolt or screw that we use. They're all universal, so that in this case, this is a person that I actually got done with my pump stations early, so I was able to take a picture of these folks. So he was drilling the levee up, bless you, or the gate up, and in this case, this gate was allowing water from the riverside into the land side. So we had to exercise that gate, and as you can tell, the nice clean water. So in this little, by my arrow is the intake or the trash rack that goes into the Grand Street pump. And once again, there's both pumps. As you can see, this gentleman here looking down to make sure that the gate, this is the stem, making sure the gate has completely closed. They take a picture of it, and we move on. In Gary, I believe, there are 37 gates of various sizes. So we spent almost 2.5 days doing this. This is out at Ironwood, same situation. This is our Ironwood pump station. The pump station is actually right over here with the arrow. You'll see a picture later on. These folks checking to make sure that both gates have gone down. This is Jeff looking at us really exciting. Folks in the Corps checking to make sure that the pump stations are working. And in this case, Ironwood, the pump ran for 33 hours for its lifetime. And in this, on pump 2, it's 0.7 of an hour for its lifetime. So that's how we can tell. And then when we have Sweeney Electric go out there, they monitor on month-to-month basis as to what the hours is. So we know monthly what we're running the stations at. Typical board, you can see in this case, we have an alarm that went off for our sump pump at Burr Street. So we're about to fix that. This is the sump pump. You're looking down, I don't mean to get you dizzy, but you're looking down on the riverside off the ledge of Grant Street. And then, as you know, last week we received a lot of rain, and so this is actually pump 1 that's pouring out onto the thing. The next project is the manhole extensions that you guys awarded to Oros, RA Oros Incorporated. This is what the manholes look like before. You can see that the ring there has a void. This is inside the river, so it would make it very susceptible once the water would get up to flow in there. That's the second one. There is no manhole, or there is no lid, I should say. And then this is how they have designed it, or how it was designed to be fixed. This is the vent here, as we've indicated. So under pressure, it will vent out above the 200-year flood elevation. This is the levee back here where you see the vehicle. And then this is what it looks like. A little bit slightly different angle, but you see it's encased in concrete. It's a sealed lid with the vent over the top. So that is what it has looked like since, I believe it was Friday. The high velocity channel, in this case, which is another project that you awarded to Garia, you can see somewhat, I couldn't get pictures today, excuse me, but you can see how it's going to lay out, where you see the stakes in this area and ending in this area. We are looking to the west. Where this tractor is basically, Woodmar 13, or right about at Hart's Ditch, back in this area. And this is off the Wicker Park levee looking down. This is the Walmart. This is Hart's Ditch back here, and then it runs to the east. We'll talk about these mats later. This is our mitigation area that was a part of the project that we had to do. This is the pedestrian bridge that runs from Hammond to Highland by Wicker Park. So just so that you know, and if everyone's wondering why we're digging this out, this will all be filled with nice native plant species. And so we'll all be able to enjoy that. And these are the mats that were required as part of our DNR permit and IDEM permit, I think more IDEM than DNR, to prevent destruction of animals. So that's how they're linked together, and then they'll be taken up when they're done. Unfortunately, when they cut down the trees, someone decided to set them on fire in the middle of a night. I think it was last Sunday. It was a 12:15 in the morning phone call to me on Sunday, asking what happened. There was evidently some kids or someone that was bored, and they decided to set it on fire. The next component, without skipping a little bit, is a new component for our inspections this year is the inspection of the INDOT bow tie, which runs It's what we call it. It runs from the east side of Martin Luther King, runs up northbound I-65, and takes in that entire corridor. So the I-65, I-94 corridor. And so in this case, we have to do the same gate stations. As you can see, this is the wall that INDOT has built, 2-3 years ago, with a gate that protects the river from backing up onto the expressway. Right now, we're parked actually on the expressway from this picture, which was, I have a brand new appreciation for all INDOT employees having to work out there. No one generally slows down. So this is a little catwalk out to the gate station, that wall's in the background, and we're right now on from southbound 65 to eastbound or westbound 94. And this is some more work that INDOT is working on as far as to help drainage in that area that will all link into that gate. This picture, believe it or not, is on I-65. This is the ramp that goes to, I think the ramp that Ron took to get here, the ramp that goes to westbound 94. You take this exit off 65. We're actually responsible for all of this water. This water runs underneath 65 into an area just to the east of Martin Luther King, and then ultimately goes north underneath 94, then goes west under Martin Luther King. So if you follow that, it's a trail. So this is a picture from on top that shows the wall that they built. It goes all the way back here, and the Army Corps, bless you, has to inspect this wall as well as a part of any other inspection that they do. So we've done gates and we've done the wall. Fortunately, we don't have any pump stations in this area to be responsible for it. So once again, if you see my cars over there and you walk throughout this whole area, this area is all meant for storage. We're just off of Central Avenue right now and 65. Some trouble that we had to deal with. Evidently, someone did not want us up on the river, so they decided to dump a whole bunch of concrete asphalt. People like to break into our pump station, so we've got to fix that. And I've got a great story for this one. This happened just yesterday. This little container was found underneath the pedestrian bridge, and both Jodi and Sandy are going to laugh at this. But I was literally just going to be out for a half an hour, and I got a phone call from Jeff, who works at Garcia, and he said to me, "You got to come over here." They were reinstalling some new monitors off the pedestrian bridge, and they said, "You got to come over here. There's something that's unusual." So I come over there. It's unusual. I call the fire chief in Highland. He says it's unusual. He calls the police department, which ends up being the ATF is coming out to check this out, and it ends up being, what is it, geocache?
Geocaching.
It's geocaching, which I'm not hip, evidently, but it's something that you hide and people find. Well, we found it, so did half of Lake County, and Porter County Bomb Squad was on standby. It ended up being invisible ink, so
Did you win?
I don't know what I won, but I was it was 2.5 hours later that I wasn't planning on spending out there, so.
How much does that bill do?
Oh, well, I don't get billed for both the fire and the police. And I met a new friend out there. This was a goose that was actually lost in our grass. I tried to convince it to go find his home, so